A lot of people wonder if defibs are safe to use on children.
Do you know, Martin, that's a really good question. It's a really confusing area for people. After all, what constitutes a child? So if a 10-year-old collapsed on a field because they've been hit in the chest with a cricket ball, would that actually constitute a child being treated or an adult? Now the answer is they're an adult. A 10-year-old is an adult. A child, in defibrillator terms, is somebody 7 or younger. Okay, so it's a very hard concept for people to understand, but only 7 and younger is a child. Now, cardiac arrest in children, 7 and under, is actually incredibly rare. So if you think about it in terms of the ancient pyramids, that's once every 3,000 years in an average village in the UK. And the point is that every defibrillator can be used on children, but not every defibrillator would be used on children, if that makes sense. So if you have a defibrillator that's configured for adults, then you would place the pads front and back on the child. However, many defibrillators also have pediatric pads, pediatric switches on them as well. Now all these work in slightly different ways because a child actually has different protocols. Their heart works in a different way to an adult. And so a machine that simply puts the sunglasses on and reduces the power to those electrodes perhaps is not the best way of treating them. Or those that have a switch which simply reduce the power going to those electrodes. What you should be looking for in a defibrillator that is to be used on children is one that not only reduces the level of powers but also changes the protocols so that the defibrillator will recognise that it is actually a child and not actually an adult with a very fast heartbeat. So yes, defibrillators can be used on children, but in the public community setting it's highly unlikely that machine will ever be used on a child.
Martin, there is some confusion as to whether defib cabinets need locks on them or not.
Whether a cabinet is locked or not is entirely your choice. You know your community far better than we do or any supplier will do. However, what do we mean by locked versus unlocked? The Resuscitation Council and many charities, including ours, would prefer you to have an unlocked cabinet for the simple reason it's easier to gain access to, and of course sometimes when you do phone 999 you do get given the wrong code, or the locks could jam, or the person could mishear the code they're actually being given and type in the wrong code, or a host of many other things that could actually prevent that lock cabinet from being opened in an emergency. So that actually justifies the use of an unlocked cabinet. But there are again different types of unlocked cabinets. There are those that you just turn the handle and open the door, that's unlocked cabinet. There are also types which you rotate the front and take the front off. Those are pretty good for unlocked cabinets. But the choice is yours at the end of the day. There is no legislation one way or the other. It's your choice.
Is all defibrillator signage the same around the world?
Very good question. Do you know in the UK there are 13 different types of signage being used to indicate the presence of a defibrillator? That's stupid. It just does not make sense. In the rest of the world, the signage for a defibrillator is a heart with a lightning flash going through it. Now there's different interpretations of that. So in the US it's a red heart with a lightning flash going through it. In Europe it's a green heart with a lightning flash going through it. The International Liaison Committee on Resuscitation, ILCOR, has actually defined what should be a standardised international signage for defibrillators. 107 countries in the world use that signage, and the rest generally use the American form of signage. But it's all a picture of a heart with a lightning flash through. Now the issue is in the UK we've got 13 different types of signage, including more recently people are proposing that actually should be a heart with a ECG trace going through it. That does not make sense. It confuses people, it confuses visitors to this country. If you go abroad on holiday, you're confused because you don't know what you're looking for. Okay? If this was a road sign, if this was a no entry sign with a nice red circle with a white background with a black bar across it, it doesn't matter whether you go to England, France, Germany, America, out to Mongolia, that means a no entry sign. Everybody recognises it. Surely we should have exactly the same for defibrillators, a standardised international sign which is based on the ILCOR signage.
Life support training is something that a lot of people would like to do, but feel like it's not relevant to them or accessible to them.
Very good question. So should everybody do basic life support training? Well, the first thing is it should always be part of the curriculum in schools. Everybody should have life support training as part of when they go through school or when they learn to drive or any of the other host of things when they first do a job, because it's important. If somebody collapses in front of you, would you know what to do? It's not difficult to do. It's not difficult to help somebody in an emergency situation. It's not difficult to save a life. But you've got to have confidence. And so these training sessions give you confidence. There are lots around, okay? And you can hold them in your village hall on a Saturday morning with an introduction to first aid. You've got more formalised courses doing emergency first aid at work or first aid at work courses. There are many organisations offering them. But are they valuable? Yes, for certain. Are they cheap? Absolutely. A few tens of pounds only to actually do that. They need to be updated every 3 years because skills and ideas do change. So, do it, but do it in a good fashion and understand that you need to update it. But yes, they're very easy to do, and we would highly recommend you take the time to actually go on what's called a basic life support training course.